Welcome to Didactics with David Lopez. Today, I'm going to talk about how you can convert your local brick and mortar supplement store into an international web store that basically distributes product from your store to anyone in any part of the US or in the world for that matter. Now, I'm using this as an example because this is a recent person that I was working with over the phone. They actually encountered my videos on YouTube and they decided to reach out, and they had basically this situation. They had a brick and mortar supplement store. They were looking at trying to get set up with a website, and were obviously, since they sell supplements, I believe they were running into some issues about the credit card processing and being able to sell through the web store. But he wanted to know what some of the best solutions out there were. He was looking at using WordPress, but really I'm going to talk about two platforms that I think are the most relevant, although there's other options out there for this. This is the two most, I think, dominant web platforms and in-store platforms that actually integrate. So in an ideal world, what you would want to be able to do is have a retail store. It's a brick and mortar local store. You're obviously selling to anyone locally that steps into your store and buys product from you. However, you might have a web store that's selling the exact same products, and you might have 6 or 7 of a certain item, and when someone buys one off the internet, there has to be a notice sent to the point of sale in store if you have someone working the store to know that you have to grab one of those, let's just say whey protein powder tubs, and set that one aside as it's already been sold, and then put it through the process of shipping it out. Maybe you take it to the back, start boxing it up, getting it ready to ship out the next day. That's a very important thing to have, because if you are basically using your retail store as sort of a distribution warehouse, you don't have an actual separate facility where you can store all the products that you're going to be actually selling through the internet, and so that everything's in your store is gonna just be sold in store. That's probably what most people are doing if they own a local brick and mortar and then want to then go into selling online. So if you have only 2 items left and someone buys one off the website, you have to know if someone walks in and there's 2 on the shelf, there's really only 1 though. You only have 1, and the point of sale has to be able to acknowledge that through the system. It'll say, oh, you have 1 more left. So you can't then double sell something and then have to go through the process of refunding someone that ordered from you online because you sold both products out of the store before you were able to take that product aside and then get it ready to be fulfilled through the process you have set up in place to do that. The 2 major platforms that I'm very familiar with that I know work very, very well is Lightspeed and Shopify point of sale. Now, Lightspeed is way more, I believe, strong on the front end as far as a point of sale system. I believe they originally were built out as a point of sale system that was running on Apple products. It runs on iOS, I believe, and Apple OS, and you can use, tablets with their system. They now have a cloud-based version where now before you used to have, well, at least when I started in 2012, it was you needed to have a dedicated server in your location that would then store all the data, and then it would be able to run off of Lightspeed. Now Lightspeed now has the point of sale, the cloud version, that you don't have to host all your own information. They actually have it hosted on their end, and that's what a lot of people now are kind of moving to. That way it gets saved in the cloud, and if your server messes up or something bad happens, you have a flood, any kind of crazy thing, all your data is still saved, and all your sales and everything is still saved on the cloud and it's backed up. They now have, as far as I know, Lightspeed point of sale has had a cloud version of an e-commerce platform. You can set that up to do exactly that, and you can have it run your e-commerce shopping cart through their platform, and then you can be able to sell in store. From what it looks like as far as Lightspeed goes, I'm kind of looking at their page. It looks like they've really put in a lot of work into their e-commerce platform. I don't really know how good it is. I've only really worked with a handful of people that have used it. There's a couple local shops that I actually go and purchase from, and they actually run Lightspeed out of their store. I would have a conversation with the people that work there. One of the managers there, actually know the owner. They were running Lightspeed in store, and they were also using it for their e-com. However, their situation is they've actually grown over the years, and they have a separate distribution center that they ship product out of that I believe also still uses the Lightspeed e-commerce platform. Yeah, I can't really confirm though on their website, but I believe when they started they actually had that. And when I remember going to them, they're actually a vape shop. They were using Lightspeed and selling out of their store using the e-com platform as well, but they have since then expanded to where they now have a distribution center specifically for online sales. They're doing very well, and that's all run separately, I believe, from the store, but the store itself still runs Lightspeed point of sale. So that's definitely an option you want to look at if you want to get set up to accept credit cards, and that's kind of where I come in basically. By the way, I've been working in the credit card processing industry for about going on 8 years now, and I've been consulting businesses to get set up to accept credit cards for things that are considered high risk online, supplements, e-cig, vape, things of that nature are usually considered high risk, and therefore working in the industry for as long as I have and understanding how to set up the payment gateways and integrating to point of sale systems is kind of my expertise. And I've worked with a lot of, worked with hundreds and hundreds of businesses throughout the years, and understanding the technology and how they run their business basically allows me to speak on and give advice on how you can use some of these platforms for your business as well. The second platform I want to mention is Shopify point of sale system that they have. I'm gonna have to knock them a little bit though, and I'll get to that in a little bit, but there is one big downfall as far as on my end, which I believe is a big problem. But yeah, everyone knows Shopify. Shopify is much more dominant as far as the online world, whereas Lightspeed, I believe, is more at least known and bigger in as far as a point of sale brick and mortar retail environment. Shopify is dominant. They're a huge chunk of what a lot of stores online are selling out of, are using. They do have a point of sale system that they have since created that does integrate both the web store and the retail store to be able to run your online business and your retail business basically as one thing. They're obviously, Shopify is great because they have a lot of marketing. They have a lot of also other apps you can download into their platform that will allow you to market and build that online internet clientele and user base. As far as those two go, Shopify, I think if your retail store, if you're very focused on your brick and mortar and you kind of just want to on the side sell online, maybe I think Lightspeed might be something a little bit better for what you're trying to do. However, I think most businesses that are brick and mortar that are trying to step into the online arena, I think the main point for them would be to still sell to and cater to your local customers in your area, or maybe you have several different stores throughout, I have a client has like 5 or 6 different supplement stores throughout Los Angeles, but you also want to be able to sell online. And obviously the advantage of online, everyone's moving to online sales, everyone wants to sell online because you can sell to anyone in the US and even worldwide, depending on what kind of products you sell. If that's the kind of route you really want to go and you want to have your brick and mortar still be a strong, stable business, but you want to really move into the internet and build a huge clientele online and even build a brand that you might have, especially if you're in supplements. This is kind of like you have your in-store supplement line that you obviously want to sell, but you sell everyone else's stuff as well. You might want to do that if you're gonna go online, you want to build that brand, you would probably want to go and use something like a Shopify with the Shopify point of sale and just have those two systems integrated. The one thing I do have a beef with now, and we're in September 2019, and Shopify's payment gateway integration with authorized.net. Now you can't use Shopify payments with their web store because they don't, if you're selling supplements, because they don't allow that. And I have other videos I've gone over this. Last year I posted a couple of videos about the Shopify payments does not work with supplement companies. So you'd have to use the authorized.net payment gateway integration and then get set up through a company like the one I'm with. By the way, you can reach out to me, phone number, email. I set up businesses to accept credit cards. I do offer some consulting as well. The consulting is free. Really, I just want to get you set up to accept credit cards because that's how I make my money. If you're a regular brick and mortar business, however, you don't really need to worry about the Shopify payments part. They'll probably work with just about anyone, and you're probably better off using that. However, if you're doing big volume in store, you might want to look at getting an actual merchant account through a company like the one I work with to get underwritten by a bank that's outside of the Shopify payments Stripe solution. The 3% or 2.5%, whatever they charge for their credit card processing fees is actually quite expensive if you get a lot of people that are paying with just regular debit cards or mid-level credit cards. Probably save money, especially if you're doing over 10, 20K a month. It's worth looking into. Even if you have to pay, I don't know, depending on the package you get with Shopify, you might have to pay them 1 to 2% on every sale regardless. You could probably still get set up with a merchant processor that would literally pay you, a pass-through fee of 0.2, and then anything else that ranges between, 1.5 or under 0.5% to up to 3 in the bulk volume. You would save money, and I've gone over that in other videos. Shopify point of sale has not integrated an EMV chip reader. We're all kind of upgraded to because of security and online or retail credit card processing security. They don't have one integrated yet that you can use a chip with, so you're going to have to use a magstrip swipe device through authorized.net on Shopify point of sale. They haven't taken the time to integrate one, and honestly, why would they? Because they kind of want everyone to use Shopify payments because they make money on credit card processing as well, on top of everything else they make the money on, so through their partnership with Stripe. So they haven't really put that as a priority. They're just like, well, you can use Shopify payments and use the MV chip we have with that, or you can just use the magstripe if you want to use authorized.net. And oh, sorry, we don't have, it's been already 3 years and they haven't integrated an EMV chip reader. By the time you see this, again, in 2019, you might be watching this 2020, 2021. That might not be the case. If you do have questions, you can definitely look it up on their website, or you can contact me. I'll be more than happy to help you out. I'm shooting this on a weekend, I shoot these videos on the weekend. I'm gonna just leave this in here. There's banging next door. I don't know if they're doing some kind of construction, but I shoot these on the weekend or after hours, obviously. Just if you're wondering why there's a noise. But anyways, beside the point. If you want to have just one merchant account with one bank account, with both the point of sale and your online credit card processing all just be one thing, you can do that. I mean, you could still use, you can still be able to do accounting because you can see all the sales that are coming through your Shopify web store, and then you can see all the sales that are coming through your point of sale system in your in-store, and you can still be able to separate and see, and do your accounting that way. The thing is, it's probably better to start off doing that way because when you're first open up a web store, unless you have a very large online following or you have an influencer or you have some kind of marketing strategy that's going to get you to start hitting huge numbers on your web store out of the gate, you're probably off just better just having it be one thing until you build up your sales. As long as your merchant account has only got 20% and under, I believe, of online sales, it's not going to really cause a problem. However, after a while, if your sales, you start crushing it, which is really, you really want your web store to do better than your brick and mortar. I mean, that's really, it's capable of doing much better than your brick and mortar store. At that point, then you want to separate. It's probably better to just separate everything. Get a new bank account, get a new legal, a new a merchant account, and have everything just separated. Again, if you have any questions on this, more than welcome to reach out to me. My phone number and email are down there. I believe I'm going to start tagging my Twitter. I'm getting back into using, I don't really use Twitter for professional reasons as much. I do have an Instagram. Really, all my Instagram is just posting up updates and when I have a new video out, but I will start adding those with this video moving forward, and all my other videos should have my Twitter and my Instagram as well. So follow me on there as well if you're interested in seeing new videos I put out. I'm constantly putting out new content. Take a look at my channel. If this is your first time watching my video, please subscribe, like, comment, share. And this is Didactics with David Lopez. Thank you so much for watching.